Michigan Magazine is kept on the road by our many Michigan friends. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, what began as a crazy idea among 9 police officers to purchase the historic Clare City Bakery quickly became an international phenomenon, carrying on a Michigan tradition with delicious donuts, pies, pastries, breads, original coffee, and more, plus a full menu at the new adjacent traffic stop diner. Downtown Clare, a winning combination, Cops and Donuts. The Michigan-made rebounding mailbox pole. Never again worry about the winter snowplow taking out your mailbox with this ingenious rebounding pole. Your mailbox takes a hit and keeps coming back year after year. Call now or visit their website, toughmailboxes.com. Hale Hardware, your do-it center in Hale, Michigan. Much more than a regular hardware store, providing everything you need for whatever your project is, along with a knowledgeable sales staff to get her done. Serving Northern Michigan since 1946. Hale Hardware, south of M65 at Ainsley in Hale. Hi, welcome to Michigan Magazine. I'm Barry Stutzman. Glad you could join us. If you grew up in Michigan and began your bow hunting experience in the Great Lakes region, you more than likely started out with a Darton bow. And if you started out on a Darton, chances are you're continuing your loyalty to this amazing Michigan product that's been creating world-class archery equipment for over 6 decades. Today we visit the world headquarters and factory in Hale, Michigan for a personal behind-the-scenes tour. Then we're heading off-grid for a little R&R at Loghaven Bed, Breakfast, and Barn near West Branch. This amazing log home away from home is totally off the grid, producing all its own power through solar and wind energy, and at the same time providing all the modern comforts and conveniences that we've all become accustomed to. Stay tuned, it's all coming up on this edition of Michigan Magazine. Announcing the Michigan Paddle Sports Directory, your one-stop internet connection. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, it's now possible to explore Michigan's extensive waterways like never before. Michigan Paddle Sports Directory is a comprehensive directory of canoe and kayak rentals and liveries throughout the entire state of Michigan. At MichiganPaddlesports.com, you'll find a great paddling route, outfitter, store, school, rental shop, or tour guide. Michigan's great waterways are waiting for you. Make it an adventure worth remembering by first visiting MichiganPaddlesports.com. It's a Michigan product through and through, the Darton bow. Darton Archery of Hale, Michigan has been satisfying the cutting-edge needs of today's archer for over 6 decades. And what makes a Darton bow so special?
Darton bows are assembled by guys that hunt every day. We are a hunting bow company, and these guys put a lot of their own special talents involved in it. They, these limbs and risers and everything are built, right with the guys in the back. They're hand sanded, hand to bird. So there's a lot of, personal workmanship, I guess, goes into these bows.
So you're talking about a truly made in the USA product there.
Truly made right here in Hale, Michigan.
Right.
Yeah.
Made in Michigan, that's even better.
Right.
Yeah. So you started out way back there in the early part of the last century, we can say now. And it started out with what, longbows? Or? Yeah,
they built a lot of the longbows and recurve bows, and then obviously graduated into the compounds, and now we're up into the high performance. We've kind of always been noted for the high performance end of the bow lines.
When you talk about high performance, what are we talking about?
Everybody wants to know how fast they go. It's how fast, what's the speed. So like in the mid 80s, Rex had built bows that were shooting, speeds of 300 feet or better, which were never heard of. Okay, so we've won all the speed tests, we've done all the stuff, and now it's more of the shootability combined with the speed. So there's no shock, no vibrations. How fast does it run? So we like to think that we're at the top of that game. Yeah, and our bows, we've got bows today that are shooting 350 feet per second, okay, that would just absolutely just sit right in your hand.
Really?
So there's not that jump, there's not that shock, there's not a lot of vibration to them. And you'll see that we don't put a lot of suppression systems on our bows. We don't use, we use an upper and lower string suppressant here, a limb saver, and that's it. I mean, so we don't have, different types of suppression systems all over the bow. We use very little, and you'll see why. Once you notice how they're made and how precision they're put together, we use less than most people.
And they're pretty light too.
They are. Actually, these bows today is kind of amazing. This is one of our brand new bows coming in for 2013, and the bow itself weighs about 4 pounds. So compared to what they used to weigh, they're very, very lightweight.
and they look like they last almost forever. Is that true?
What we hear a lot of, and back when Rex was building a lot of the bows in the beginning, there was an SL50. And we can tell you that we have more and more people every single day tell us the first bow they ever shot was a Darton SL50. Really? So, and today, even on some of the crossbow seminars and bow seminars that we're doing, we're still finding people that come up to us and say, we still shoot the Darton SL50. That bow's 30 years old. Wow. And so, you know, the bows really hold up. They're built very, very high quality. You know, these new bows that we've got now, this in 2012 and 2013, carry our dual sync cam systems. It's a cam system that we've got out there that is remarkable. The performance on it is bar none the best in the industry. You know, so and we carry a very high-end crossbow line as well. So along with the bows, we got the crossbows, and here in the state of Michigan now with the crossbows, yeah, any age, anybody can shoot them. So it's really opened up a whole new market. The big features of our bows, and it's always been a huge feature of our bows, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's a mod right here, and this is a draw length module that is held onto the cam, so you can adjust your draw length by just dropping in a different module. So this bow here goes from 25 to 30 inches of draw, and all you have to do is take this off, put another one on, and you can have your draw modules and your draw lengths changed. So that's a huge feature and a huge selling feature for our bows for the dealers as well as the consumers. So if you ever want to sell your bow, or if you're at a dealer, it's very easy for us to change. You don't have to do the strings and cables and everything. Let's take a little walk through the factory, and we'll kind of show you how they're done. We're going to go back through. We're in the factory here as you just come into the Darton facility. We're going to start all the way to the rear. So we're going to go all the way to the back, okay, which is kind of deceiving when you look at it when you drive in, but there's many buildings that go all the way to the rear. That's where our CNC shop starts, and that's really where all these bows are started from, right back there in the back. We're back in the CNC shop here at Darton, and what we're doing back here is, this is where everything kind of starts. We start our risers back here. We do all of our flat cutting back here, get the stocks going. We got some CNC stuff going over here on the risers that are coming in on the table here. We're actually taking these parts, once they're made and they're done, we actually sit right here and we hand deburr all these parts. So they're actually taking a tool like this and actually going around all the edges to make sure that every part is perfect. So once they're done and they're deburred and they're inspected, then we take them up and we put them in the vibratory. So this is a real crucial part of our system to make sure the quality control and everything is absolutely perfect. These all come in pieces like this, then everything is cut, okay, exactly to fit. So again, when you talk about how fast can you make one bow, you know, we hand cut everything. We hand, you know, the machines are machined out, we hand deburr, and then we vibe and bring the stuff up. So this is our vibratory. Obviously it's a little noisy in here, but all of these parts here are all set up where they go through the vibe. You'll see them come different medias. Find there's another part that comes up here in a second. What that does, after they're hand deburred, we put them into vibratory so they keep running, and it just makes them real soft. Takes any spots off. Here's another part coming through right here. This is the front stirrup. You can feel how nice that is. There's no rough edges. It's all been deburred. It's all nice. This is the front riser. This is the end piece of what we just looked at back there, the big flat stock. So this is the front riser to a crossbow. It's already been machined out. It's been deburred. It's been vibed, and now it's been camouflaged and ready for production. This is kind of the same situation. We've got this is a stock for a crossbow after it's all been ready to go. It's been machined, it's been gone through, sanded, and now it's been prepped, camouflaged, and these bows here are ready to be made into crossbows. Every single crossbow here in this department is shot. So once it's assembled and done, we actually take a couple shots with them. And again, every part of this thing is put together by hand, so everybody's got the quality control, everything is right down pat. Fully operational and ready to go to the field. To make these limbs absolutely perfect, we take a lot of time and a lot of pride in making sure those limbs are absolutely the best they can be. And your deflection number is the best it can be, so you get the exact right pounding. So that process is done not only at this stage, but it's done at that stage, at that stage, at that stage. They come up here at this point, the limbs are paddled here and checked once they're done, and then they come over here, and they actually will stand right here. If the limbs have any spot in them at all, or they get mic'd and checked, they'll actually sand that limb exactly where it has to be, just to make sure that, again, the quality is 100%. We're back in the paint room now. This is where we start to do all of our decorating, all of our pre-painting, all of the stuff getting it set up. We have electrostatic paint system, and we can run thousands of parts at one time. This is parts that we're getting put here now that have come back. We're going to start getting them prepped for the first stage. Once they get coated the first time and they get they go through, then we're going to turn around and take them over to get them decorated over in the camouflage area, and then they come back to here again to be coated one more time. So they got a finish coat on them, a protective coat. But you can see where it's come from. From the big square black piece to sand it down to this kind of quality, and that that limb is it's absolutely perfect. You're in the final assembly area here now. Where we're doing is, and this is actually the bow that I showed you into the conference room, and Ron's going to assemble one here for us quick, and through the pre-staging of where we've gone to where we're at now, this kind of sets everything all up. Just make sure the limbs are all in the right position, gets all the spacers in. That's the cam assembly we talked about just a minute ago. He's putting on the cam now. And again, I can't stress that every one of these bows are assembled here and worked on by many people, and checked and rechecked, and the quality control. If you look at this limb pocket here that this bow's been assembled on, this is the pre-assembled bow that we talked about just a minute ago. It's got the pivots in it, it's got the limb bolt on it now, it's got the grips on it now, it's got the cable rod in it, suppression systems are mounted and ready to go. Then it comes up here to the final assembly, and that's what he's doing now, is assembling the limbs to fit into this bow, and then he'll string it. We'll put it on a stump and test it, and we'll do a final inspection on it, and it's good for the field. So this is the final copy. This is how it is. You've seen where the riser started from. Everything had been gone through in the machine shop. From the machine shop out to the limbs, into the paint shop, being decorated, back, the final assembly out here. Just some happy hunter. Yeah, Darton bows made by hunters for hunters. So you'll see they take a lot of pride in what we do here, and obviously you can look at the workmanship on this bow. It is absolutely perfect.
Thanks a lot, Ted, for being part of Michigan Magazine.
Thanks for coming up, guys.
Michigan Magazine is being brought to you in part by The Art of Amalia Jonas is at the art store near Lupton, Michigan. Stop by her gallery or visit her online to purchase that perfect masterpiece or sign up for private lessons. Begin your journey in the world of art by capturing the inspiration around you under the personal direction of Amalia Jonas at the art store. Randy's Restaurant and Bakery, downtown Rose City. Freshly baked daily, cookies, breads, pastries, donuts, homemade pies, and more. Randy's has a full menu to tackle the heartiest appetite, including pizza and hand-dipped ice cream. Clemix Sales and Service on Mapes Road, west of Mile, your complete recreational vehicle sales and service connection. Visit their beautiful showroom of new and pre-owned ATVs, lawnmowers, power equipment, snowmobiles, utility vehicles, and more. Clemix Sales and Service is also the home of the American-made Victory motorcycle line on display at Clemix on Mapes Road, Mile. For some people, living off the land is a dream, mostly unattainable, but still a dream. For others, living off-grid is a more practical alternative, not as drastic, but much more attainable than you might think. On this edition of Michigan Magazine, we discovered a husband and wife team in northern Michigan, Paul and Gail Goddard, who've been doing just that and turned that experience into a beautiful bed, breakfast, and barn to share with everyone. What does it mean to be off-grid?
That means that the commercial power lines are 2 miles away, and we are not connected in any way to commercial power.
So where do you get your power?
We make our own. We have a wind turbine and a battery bank downstairs, and we make our own electricity.
We've been here for 12 years, so this isn't anything new for us. Been doing it for a long time and very successfully.
Oh my goodness, now I would think it'd be kind of hard. Now what stimulated the actual decision to do something like this and discover that it may be possible? I mean, this takes a rare breed, I think, to actually do something.
We got a quotation from the local power company. There was a substantial amount of money to bring power to the property, and simply felt that we could spend that money in looking at alternative energy. And we did, and it has turned out just fine. It works like a champ.
We just have one hard, fast rule here, and that is if you turn it on, you have to turn it off. So we're very aware of our electrical usage. We use energy-efficient appliances, compact fluorescent light bulbs. We simply watch what we're doing, which is what anyone could do. You don't have to live off-grid to be energy conscious, and it's just a part of life. It's not anything that we even think about anymore. It's just a normal way of behaving.
We have out in front of the house on a 100-foot tower a 3,000-watt wind turbine, and that means that at its peak production, which is 28 miles an hour wind, it produces 3,000 watts. It is a battery charger. The heart of the system is a battery bank, and what that is a battery charger. So that 3,000 watt turbine is charging the batteries, and then out of the batteries we take electricity to run the house. We invert the DC electricity from the batteries into conventional AC electricity to power the house. The house is all standard, code compliant AC with switches and outlets and everything like that. We get about 85% of our need out of the wind turbine itself. 15% balance comes from our backup generator.
Well, you must have been a whiz at this when you first got into it.
Not nearly as smart as I look, Barry. I mean, honest to goodness. No, I'm just an old salesman, and I knew nothing about this. And that's a point I like to emphasize with people, that this is not beyond the reach of the average guy. It's not that you can do it all yourself, but it's simple to install, simple to understand, and the average person can get this done.
You're not hoarding all this information to yourself. I'm sure that you would, let people know how you did it. I understand that you're very open with that, aren't you?
You bet. We have a seminar here first Friday of every month, assuming that there are attendees, which there are not necessarily every time. It's called the Basic Introduction to Alternative Energy, and I do charge. There is a fee, $135, and we invite people in and take them, just as the name implies, Basic Introduction to Alternative Energy. We take them from start to finish on what all is involved, how to do it, vendors, contractors, local code applications, and things of that sort. By the time they leave here, I promise them that they will be the smartest kids on their block when they get home. And sometimes they call and say they are.
So what you're doing is providing a seminar or information here on site to actually see it in operation, but it's doing something and letting people know of something that you've garnered constructing the house. So you've got a wealth of information that you're going to be letting people in on and how they can do it.
Yes.
But what I like too is that, my goodness, you can take the seminar in and you can enjoy a beautiful B&B. Tell us a little bit about what you've got here, Gail. I mean, this is wonderful. It's very nice area of the state.
It's a beautiful area. We are in the Huron National Forest, so we are remote. Our closest neighbor is 1.5 miles away. It's quiet. It's peaceful. The bed and breakfast has been operational since about 2004. We didn't really intend we didn't start off when we built this to become a B&B, but we have a lot of extra room, and we're small. We only have 3 guest rooms, lots of porches, green porch. People come to hike, they come to relax, they come to cross-country ski. We encourage people who own their own horses to bring their horses, because we have facilities. We have a barn and pastures and stalls and that sort of thing, and then ride through the forest. So we do have a lot of people who come with their horses. It's a wonderful way to meet people. It's not a full-time business, but we have thoroughly enjoyed it, and we've met some great people, and it's a fun thing to do. We like to stay at B&Bs when we travel, and when we first built and friends and relatives would come to visit, we'd sit out on the deck and everybody would say, "Oh, it's so beautiful here. And this would be a wonderful place. You should have a B&B." And as frequent B&B guests, we said, how hard is this? So we learned a little bit about it. We joined the Michigan Lake to Lake Bed and Breakfast Association, and got some tips from them, and just kind of moved into it gradually, and had some brochures printed, which are available in the Michigan travel centers, and have a website, and have done a little bit of advertising, but I think a lot of it is word of mouth, a lot of it is internet. People go online and they're looking for a B&B, and there we are. So we do have a lot of repeat business, but we just did this because it's a great way to meet people, and it seemed to be kind of fun.
Yeah, it would be fun. Now, what type of people would you say would enjoy your bed and breakfast?
Well, we get people who, we don't typically have hunters or snowmobilers. We have people who enjoy the B&B experience like we do, who come up north for canoeing, because we're not far from Mayo and from the Osable River, for cross-country skiing, for hiking, people who bring their horses. Also, people who are coming locally to attend weddings or graduation parties, or family get-togethers. So those are the people, and sometimes just folks who want to come up north and relax for the weekend. Yes. Sit on the porch, put your feet up, have a glass of wine, and enjoy the scenery and the quiet and the birds, and yeah.
Ah, that's what it's all about, isn't it? To truly and actually unplug. Thanks, Gail. Thanks, Paul, for sharing your Loghaven with Michigan Magazine. So there you go. Now you know a little bit more about what's off the beaten path in our fine state. Have a great week. We'll see you here next week on RFD or online. We'd like to thank all those that help keep Michigan Magazine on the road. For home medical and healthcare products, visit Rose City Drug at 2640 North M33, just south of Rose City city limits. Rose City Drug has a complete diabetic department, including shoes. Serving Michigan for over 20 years. Rose City Drug, Rose City. Discount Foods, downtown Mayo. Find national name brand foods and merchandise at sharply discounted prices. Shop the smart way and please the family without breaking the budget. Discount Foods, downtown Mayo. Rose Valley Winery, committed to making quality wines from locally grown cold hardy grapes. Rose Valley Winery on Beechwood Road, Rose City. Cops and Donuts Bakery, downtown Clare, a winning combination. Cops and Donuts.